The moon. There was a time when the moon was nothing more than a bright light in the sky. Untouched by humans, it represented a world of possibilities where anything could happen. We soon discovered that the moon was little more than a never-ending desert of grey rocks, but humans were still fascinated by the moon. And so, we started to explore it, and pretty soon we were building outposts, roads, and bases until we had colonized all of it. As I'm making this diary entry, our spaceship is still stuck in the 1970s, but we've been given a tremendous opportunity to witness the adventures of the early pioneers of space exploration, the astronauts from Apollo 16. Alright, this is set 367 or 565 moon landing from 1975. If you haven't figured it out just yet, the intro was a parody of Star Trek TOS, and it follows the intro that I made for set 358 rocket base from 1973. This is because, in my opinion, both sets go really well together, and so I figured it would be pretty fun to create a kind of double feature with these space sets from the 70s. Although, it must be said that both sets are at different scales, so they can't really fit together in the same layout. The original rocket base from 1973 is at a much smaller scale, which I like to call mini town scale. But I guess this could also be called town plan scale, since these sets are pretty much the same size as the original town plan sets from the 50s and 60s. The moon landing set is somewhere between Legoland scale and Homemaker scale. Actually, we do get some Homemaker figures, but they're much too big to fit inside the Lunar module. The Lunar module fits way better with Legoland figures of the time, or even modern minifigures with movable arms and legs. Yeah, I find the scale of this set kinda weird, but I guess that's okay. It's still an awesome set. Since we've already mentioned them, we might as well look at the minifigures. The set gives us 3 of these astronaut Homemaker figures, and we also get 3 separate heads in case we wanted to create some different stories on planet Earth. These figures get a lunar buggy, a flag of the United States, a camera, and these 2 scientific instruments. On Wikipedia, there's a list of all the stuff that was left on the moon during the Apollo missions, so I tried to find some instruments that look similar to the ones in the set. This small spinning doohickey seems to correspond with the Lunar Surface Magnetometer from Apollo 12, 15, and 16. The other instrument doesn't really correspond with anything in particular, but it kinda looks like an antenna. And we can even see something a bit peculiar about the way that it's built. Yeah, it uses a very illegal building technique. Yikes. Aside from this horrendous antenna build, we get a second antenna at the back of the lunar buggy, or lunar roving vehicle, whatever you want to call it. Fortunately for me, this piece is in amazing condition, especially considering that it's 50 years old. As for the rest of the buggy, we can see this section of white cylinders at the front, and this seems to be a battery pack for the electric motors. Obviously, there's no oxygen in space, so a normal combustion engine wouldn't work. Now, if we place the lunar buggy next to the actual lunar module, the difference in scale becomes quite noticeable. Like I said earlier, the lunar module and lunar buggy are at very different scales, but I'm not really sure why LEGO did this. I mean, they were already introducing Legoland figures in a bunch of sets that same year, in 1975, so it seems strange to purposefully ignore the new standard scale and instead use Homemaker figures for this set. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. And to prove my point, I've decided to make my own lunar buggy in the appropriate scale, only using parts that existed in 1975. Personally, I think this looks way better and way more accurate, but let me know if you agree or not. Moving on to the actual lunar module, we'll see that it is very blocky. There are a few nice details, like these grey boosters or these yellow scanners, but the rest of the structure looks weird. From the front, it looks okay, I guess, but the back section and sides look really unfinished and unpolished. The look of this lunar module is, in my opinion, the worst part about this set. And this messy aesthetic becomes even more noticeable when you compare it to the previously mentioned rocket base from 1973 or some other classic space sets from 1979. Clearly, I didn't buy this set for the look of the module, but that's okay. There are still plenty of things to be appreciated about this set, like the flag, the cool parts, the buggy, the figures, and oh wait, I forgot to mention it, but this lunar module can separate in two, just like the real thing. That's pretty cool. So overall, I would say this is a decent set, but it is by no means perfect. But yeah, I guess that covers about everything from moon landing. Since I've now reviewed the second and third space sets ever, it means that I now need to review the first. which is set 801 Space Rocket from 1964. But until then, I guess that's gonna be it for today, and thanks for watching. If you liked this video, I would recommend checking out these movies about space exploration or the space race, especially Apollo 11 and The Right Stuff. Those two movies are really good. Otherwise, that's all I wanted to say, so have a nice day.